Give me the money figures again. Can you give us the money figures? Go ahead and tell us.
$8 billion.
Okay, $8 billion.
Just,
okay, that what?
yeah.
Guess what? That money went to $8 billion. That went to sex education for people to actually know how to put on a condom in Africa. That's what the money went to. Supposedly, that's what we got from the Associated Press report that came out 3 years ago. By the way, this happened 3 years ago. That report came out, and there was nothing else being talked about because of this. And the only mention that this one time where it was $8 billion for sex education for people to learn how to put on condoms for the whole entire country of Africa. So that's where $8 billion went to, supposedly. We don't know if it all got there or did we give it. Yeah, there's no record.
If you go and print $8 billion of pamphlets, Africa won't be big enough to hold those pamphlets. I'll tell you what it was. I've seen one of those pamphlets. It's a little A5 piece of paper with some scrambling on it about how to condomize, because that's the word they coined. And get this, you're sitting down, they stapled the condom onto the paper. They stapled.
oh God.
And I saw that with my own eyes and I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that was brilliance in action. So there's no way that $8 billion went for that campaign. They used probably a little bit, but there's a couple of $1 billion that's floating somewhere, funding something. And it's certainly not the upliftment and the development of South Africa. That I can guarantee you.
Right. Right. So we actually got the real story here. So I appreciate that, because that's one thing that when we get a news report or we dig down and find out exactly what's happening, this is what we do here. And do a recap here. You got terrorist camps going on in South Africa too. You said you got the report was we got 5. Now they're saying you got 2. Now you're saying 8. So tell us again, how many camps do you actually seen, witnessed, or have heard of? Good question.
Okay, I think there's a misconception. South Africa is only one country on the continent of Africa. The continent of Africa has got quite a few countries. I think there's 54 countries on the continent. We just one. In our country alone, we are aware of two camps. In the continent of Africa, over in Somalia and the Congo, they are basically saying they know of 10.
10.
So
okay.
We don't, 10 overall on the continent. In my country alone, we know of 2.
Okay. Okay, so I want to make that. Okay, we want to get accurate here, because the reports are going all over the place, and I just want to get accurate. Because I'm looking at it. I'm looking at what's the reports. We did some digging yesterday. We actually did some research, and I couldn't get anything accurate at all. There were just the newspapers nowadays. They only want to report like what's going on with Kim Kardashian. The same thing that they do with politics now. What's going on with the government? Well, we will speculate. We'll just report not actual facts. We'll just give you numbers here, and you do the research. That's pretty much what they do now. So is this what journalism is? Is this what journalism is now, Brandy? Is this what's going on here?
It definitely is. If you look at the way they report things, it is absolutely so racially charged, number one. I mean, let me give you 2 scenarios. Yesterday, there was this report of this highly racial incident that happened at a university where 2 black students sodomized 2 white students sodomized a black student, and they were screaming racism. when you looked at the entire video, it was an initiation between kids. There were probably about 20 people in the room. There were only 2 there, and he was smeared with shaving cream, and it was an initiation thing, and everybody took part in it. And 2 of the students happened to be white. They weren't actually the ones involved in it, but they were there. But because they were there, it became a racial thing, and it was reported like that. Now everybody's saying, yeah, all whites are racist. And it was, they could have all been black, all been white, all been in. It was irrelevant what color they was. It was an initiation thing that shouldn't have happened. But the point is, it wasn't a racial incident. It was an initiation incident. Then, when you look at another scenario where there was a farmer brutally murdered and tortured, and his wife was raped, and the kids were shot in the head, then it is just reported as, if it ever gets reported, because only 1 in about 1,000 gets reported, then it's just normal crime, and they don't even mention race. So there's such a double standard in how they report crime and how they report these things with regards to the terrorism cells. It is basically just, I don't know, they're hiding things, or they're saying that it's not an Al-Qaeda camp. I'm looking now so I can send you links, and you can actually look at it while we talk. So it really is scary.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It really is. Yeah, it's scary, all right.